is Jaden, and this is the Purl Up Dye podcast. It's a knitting podcast, but I also have some cross-stitch, so it's kind of a Flosstube as well. I do like to do the knitting first and the cross-stitch second, just in case, because I was primarily a knitting podcast, so, you know, if you're not interested in cross-stitch, then I will do it in two sections. I'm drinking some coffee today, and it is almost the end of October. It's the last Friday of the month, so I don't even remember what date it is. It's 27th, something like that. I don't know, but end of October anyways. We still haven't had snow. If you guys have been following me for a while, you know that I always give you a weather update, and so there is no snow on the ground. It has been gloomy and rainy, but not. We have seen some flakes one day, but they dried, melted as they fell. So anyways, I've got a bit to talk about today. Not a ton, and not as much as I thought maybe I would after a month, but you know, at least I'm back, right? I didn't wait a year now. So I've got some coffee. I'm going to put it way out of my way because I'll probably end up spilling it, and I don't want to wreck anything that's around me. So I'm going to take a slurp, put it away, and we will just jump right in. Alrighty. Okay, so let's start with what I'm wearing, I guess. Not that it's overly exciting, but it's a yellow shirt. I got it from Marshall's. No, I'm just kidding. Nobody cares about that. My knit, what I'm wearing, is my Maema cardigan, which is from Pip and Pin. And this colorway that I knit it from is fingering weight, and it was called Carriage Ride. So it is a discontinued color from Midnight Cravings. Oh, I didn't even introduce myself. I forgot. Not that it's super important, but where you can find me around on the internet is Creations on a Whim on Ravelry, Little Prairie Pearl on Instagram, and Midnight Cravings on Instagram. I own a yarn shop or a yarn studio with my sister Tara. So we are the dyers and owners behind Midnight Cravings Yarn Company. So, and that said, this was some of our yarn, but like I said, it has been discontinued now for probably about a year. I do miss the color, but you know, you have to make room for new colorways. So, but it's a beautiful, like evergreen kind of color, and then it had these speckles. Here, let me come up a little closer. Some speckles of this beautiful mustardy, chartreusey color, and then some mauve, red, and yeah, I really love this cardigan. It was a lot of work to knit. This is a Honeycomb Brioche. So I'd never done brioche before. Sorry, let me not fall on my butt. I'd never done brioche before, so this was kind of a fun one because you only do brioche on one side. The reverse side is just like whether you knit or purl across, I don't remember, but you're not doing brioche on both sides, so it was a really great beginner pattern for teaching you the technique of brioche itself. Oh, drop my phone. Let's just kick it off the, see, I told you, I'm just going to drop everything and make a mess. But what was I saying? Yeah, so it was a really great introduction to brioche without being overly complicated. It did take quite a bit of time to knit just because, you know, it's a specialty stitch, but I think it was worth it. Normally this is a lot more oversized. I went for a size down just because I didn't want it quite so boxy and so roomy. That said, I kind of wish I would have gone up one more size. I think I went down to a large, and I probably could have used an extra large, although I have never blocked it. I knit it, I took it pretty much straight off the needles, and I've always worn it, so I know I'll get some room. It's like 3 years old, and I've never blocked it. I'm like, whatever, it's close enough, right? It fits! I think I was in a rush to get it done for Knit City, which is why I didn't get blocked, because I think I pulled it off the needles like right before, and I was wearing it one day in our booth, and so it just never got blocked, and now I'm just too lazy because I only pull it out once in a while, so because I really have one shirt, this one, that works with it. So that's it. So I don't wear it very often, so that is actually a lesson for myself. I have learned over the last few years that as much as I love making fun colored cardigans, I don't wear them because I don't have the shirts to match underneath. Like, you know, sometimes if you go with a really wild color that has a lot of different different colors in it, well, yeah, then obviously you probably have stuff in your closet. But I don't have a huge wardrobe, and so I would prefer just like a neutral cardigan to go over, so I could wear it a lot more. So that's actually one of the things that I want to cast on in the future is another cardigan in I actually really love this cardigan. I would do it again, but in a gray or a, you know, neutral. But yeah, so that's that. So that's what I'm wearing. Big, long, rambling thing just to say that it's a very awesome cardigan. I highly recommend knitting it, especially if you're afraid of brioche. This isn't scary. It's not complicated. And Megan walks you right through all the pattern, and it wasn't complicated at all. So yeah, that's FOs. Well, okay. So do you guys want to see a whip? I guess. I don't know. It's really hard to not have anybody talking back to me, but so it's kind of nice to not have anybody talking back to me. Kids are always doing that. But anyways, okay, so last podcast I was telling you that I was going to be casting on a test knit, and I'm almost done. So I still have a sleeve and a half to go, basically, but I mean, you're kind of in the home stretch once the body is done, right? So this is my test knit. So this is called the Julissa sweater. And it is by Vanessa Smith. Yeah, it's gorgeous. Sorry, I'm looking at the camera, or at the computer and not at you. But yeah, this sweater is a bit intimidating. At least it was for me. But it's so amazingly well written. Makes complete sense. Like Vanessa she's thought of everything in the pattern. Any question that you might have, she's got note for, or it's been asked before and she's clarified it. And sometimes even things that you don't even think that you're going to ask, you do ask, and it's already written in the pattern. So it's pretty amazing. And I'm really loving this center cable detail along with the lace panels on either side. And then that cable is actually run down the sleeves as well. So I would say that I'm only about here on a sleeve. I'm basically at a t-shirt side on this side, and then this one I haven't picked up at all yet. So I do have quite a ways to go, but yeah, I really love it. And I don't know if you can really tell. I think maybe you can tell a bit, but she does have you do some waist shaping. So it looks like a little bit of a lump here, but it's not. It's just because of the way that the ribbing is. But yeah, so she has you do some waist shaping and then some hip shaping, and what that does is it keeps this center panel straight, so it's not pulling wider around one section or, you know, shrinking back. It's once you're wearing it, it fits like straight, which is perfect, because sometimes, you know, if you've got a lace panel in the front and it's a little bit snug, you're going to have that stretching over your bust. And also what I really loved about this is that it had bust darts. So I've never knit bust darts before, and I was a little scared, but I mean, like I said, she walks you through absolutely everything. It wasn't hard. She even wrote in the pattern like how to determine how big of a bust dart you're going to be, like by taking your back, like a measurement from your shoulder to, you know, I think your hip, and then the same in the front, because obviously in the front, when it's going over your bust, it's going to be a bigger measurement from then straight down your back. So anyways, and then you take like this measurement plus this measurement minus blah, and it's a super very easy. It's like A minus B equals C, and then that's how much you need to, you know, and then she gives you the formula to doing your bust darts. Very easy. Fits like a glove. I have never had a glove. I've never had a sweater fit as well as this, and that's pre-blocked. It's a little snug, just because it's meant to have some negative ease, but with the blocking, because this is superwash, so with some blocking, I will get the exact amount of ease that I'm going to be comfortable with. So speaking of the yarn, It's Midnight Cravings Hardy Worsted, and in the color Why Not. So this is my absolute favorite color in the whole world. Actually, no, that's not all true. Yeah, might be. It's my favorite color that we have in our shop. Like favorite, favorite, favorite. I say that about a lot of the colors, but this one, we came out with this color fairly soon after we started our company, and it's just been a favorite since, and I don't know why. I love it. So I've never actually knit myself something with it, so I thought it was about time. So I'm really, really happy with how the color was turning out. It didn't seem to be pooling or flashing, although I am holding I'm alternating skeins through the entire thing using Helical Knitting. If you're not sure what that is, you can just look it up on YouTube. There's quite a few different people who've done tutorials for it, so I just watched like 5 of them and picked the technique that I thought made most sense to me. They're always like just a little bit different, so I just picked the one that I thought I would most easily remember, and I really like it. It's not complicated to do the helical knitting. The only thing is that when I got to that cable panel, I didn't want to be doing the helical knitting through that, because with helical knitting, you're knitting to 3 stitch. I don't know, it's really hard to explain, but when you want to start alternating skeins, you drop one yarn and you pick up the other and you knit around. And when you're 3 stitches away from your other tail, then you drop that yarn, slip those 3, and then keep going in the round. So basically you're never going to get that seam, that runs up sometimes if you're alternating skeins and always switching in the same spot. You can end up with like a ladder or tight stitches or something weird. Whereas if that's moving every single round, then with helical knitting, you're never getting that like weird jog or whatever. So that's why I really like it. But because you're also slipping 3, if you did it in a like color work or a lace pattern, your stitches aren't going to work out. So what I did was, I know they're always moving to the right, I believe. So I just started on that one side of the thing. So it took a long time before it finally made it around to the other side of the cable. And then I just snipped it and I started again. That probably makes no sense to you if you're not like somebody who's familiar with helical knitting, but once you give it a try, which I highly recommend if you're using hand-dyed yarn, that you alternate skeins, and helical knitting is a very, very good method for doing that. So if you do try it, you'll totally get what I'm talking about. And if you've never tried it, then as I probably just was like lost you 5 minutes ago, but sorry. But that's my tip. Try helical knitting. So, but that's pretty much all I've been knitting on, is because I've been trying to get that done. It is due, I think, on the 17th, and then she's going to re-release the pattern. So it is an existing pattern, so if anybody wants to purchase it, it is available on Ravelry. It's called Julissa, like I said, and she released it 10 years ago, so it's 10-year anniversary coming up, which is why she wanted to re-release it. She's got a few changes that she wanted to make to the pattern. Plus, she wanted to increase the offer, increase the pattern sizes that's available in. So, like, she wanted to make it more size inclusive. I think her first pattern had 6 or 7 sizes, and I believe her new one has 15 sizes. So, really, she's worked very, very hard at getting this sweater tested amongst the entire range of sizes, so that no matter, what your bust size or your, whatever size that you wear, she should have a sweater that would fit. So that's really awesome. So she is going to be releasing the update after the 17th of November. That's when the test is due. I don't know if that's the day that she's planning on releasing it. But, I mean, you're always welcome, of course, to buy the pattern now, and then you'd probably get the updated version when she re-releases it. I don't know. I didn't check that with her, so hopefully that's true and I didn't just lie, but something like that. I'm sure. Anyways, it is available to buy on Ravelry. She's doing an update. So, should work out. So yeah, other than that, I have had a few little bits and bobs I've been knitting on just to, sometimes you don't feel like knitting on a big sweater. So I have started, I always have a sock project on the go, so I'll show you what I'm working on right now. I've got one project in here. Oh, got some extra stuff in here. Find all kinds of things in your project bags. So this project bag is super cute. I got it from Jade at Stitch Mischief. Cute little, I think these ones were her Twiggy style. And this one's just like a sock size. It's not super huge, but I really, really like it. And I love that it comes with the handle. Not that I never walk and have it going, but it's nice to have the handle anyways. Got that ages ago. But anyways, inside is a sock that I've been working on, probably for myself. I don't know, I just felt like casting it on. So this is some hand-dyed yarn. I think this was our first anniversary color at the Midnight Cravings. It's called Whirlwind. And I'm just doing a simple, not following a pattern. It's just basically vanilla. 64 stitches. And then I'm doing just a really simple like knit and purl pattern. How do I do it? I do like 3 knits, 1 purl, 3 knits, 1 purl. And you repeat that across the row, and then you do that for 2 rows. So knit 3, purl, knit 3, purl 1, knit 3, purl 1, and then row 3 is just a plain knit round, and then knit 4 you switch it, so it would be knit 1, purl 1, knit 3, purl 1. Yeah, so basically where you'd have your 3 knit stitches, your next round you'd have your purl in the middle. And so it's gonna stagger them. And then, yeah, it's just this cute little, just breaks up the speckles a little bit is basically why I did it. Didn't want it to pool or flash or anything, so I did that. The other pair that I've got on is a pair for my husband. I generally always have a pair on for him. They take forever to knit. He's a size 12 and a half men's. It's like, why did I marry a man with such big feet? But anyways, this one, I have no idea if I'm ready to go to the heel or not. I always do a fish lips kiss heel, and so with those you cut out the foot, and you cut out like a foot pattern, and then you put the hinge line, so basically where you'd start your heel, and that's great, except for something happened to the foot. It was made out of cardboard, and I think somebody spilt a drink, and it soaked it, and then now it's like dead. So I don't have a foot form, and I don't know what length I usually knit to before. So I don't know. It might be ready for the heel. I kind of just thought, you know what, maybe I'll just knit the whole thing and cut in an afterthought heel. I've done that before. It works okay. I just have to measure again. But anyways, this is Felici something. I have no idea. The other ball is in my bin of Felici, and I don't feel like going to dig through it. It's like summer camp might be the name of it. I don't remember. Rugby player, that might be it. I don't remember. I'm an excellent podcaster. But anyways, regardless, this color is Felici. They discontinue it every 6 months. And then they bring back some, and colors are very rarely repeated. So this is a discontinued color of Felici. Rugby player sounds right, though. So maybe if you really like this, you could look up rugby player Felici on Ravelry and see if anybody's destashing. But other than that, it's probably discontinued. And then the only other pair of socks, I meant to show you guys last time, and then I forgot them over on the kitchen table, and I didn't feel like going over there and doing that either. So is these ones, which I made for my daughter, Evelyn. She's almost 14. So they have no heels yet. I'm going to do the afterthought heel. The only thing that's stopping me is that I haven't measured her foot yet. It's not like I don't see her 100,000 times a day and I can measure her foot, but no, I still haven't done it. And so these sit. I did these in a weekend when I went camping. They were pretty much done in August. The only thing they're waiting for is the heels, and here they are. So these were really fun. I don't come closer to the camera. I really should have set up the camera closer to me today, but whatever. It is what it is. Yeah, these are I don't remember, I don't think I really followed a pattern, but here, wherever the color change was, I did a row of purl. And then it made this cute little scallop, right? Because you're just the way that the pearls work between the colors. And they made this really adorable, like, little scallop look. And so, yeah, and they match pretty good. I mean, I did try to kind of match them. She said she didn't care, but the balls, is one of, each one is basically it's a half ball. One ball made this pair. She's about a size 8 ladies. And so one skein did make this. They'll be shorties. They'll be more like a sport length sock. And I'm going to put in some heels. So the reason I have, also another reason besides the fact that I haven't measured, is I haven't decided what heel is going to go in. So maybe you guys can leave me some comments and tell me which one you think would be best. But I have, this cute minty green, which actually really goes really well. Maybe you can't see it on camera, but it goes really well with this mint stripe that's in there. So that's pretty cute, right? Have a little mint heel. Yeah, it looks like it's blowing out a little bit. It looks bluer in the camera, but it's actually like the same, pretty much exactly the same color as the seafoamy colored stripe. So that's option A. Option B is just to go with a simple boring gray, but you know, nothing wrong with gray. So gray is kind of cute. Then we have this one, which is kind of a wild card. It's not black, it's not gray. It's got a spearmint, it's called a fraction. It's in our shop actually. It's like a dark charcoal gray with a minty over dye. And so it becomes its own color. But anyways, it looks really nice with there. So it's kind of nice, like, to have a dark. And then the last one, which is the one that she wants, but the problem with this is I do love it and I think it would be stinking adorable, but this one doesn't have any nylon in it. So I'm just worried that, I mean, it's an afterthought heel, so if she did wear it out, I could take out the heel and re-knit it with a different one with nylon. All those other ones that I just showed you have nylon. This one doesn't. It's 100% merino and it's really soft. That's the only thing that I'm hesitating about doing it. But here, I'll show you. It's really cute. Oop, I don't know. Is it focusing? I can't tell because my computer's far away now. But I really like this one because the speckles in it. Oh, where am I? Sorry, guys. My computer's in front of me now and like behind me, so I can't see. But this one, it's got all the same color of speckles in it that the sock has and stripes. It just happened to, this was just like a one of a kind that I dyed once upon a time. And Tara stole all of them and made a sweater out of it, or a noni. And then this is the little bit left, and so it works here. And so it is cute, and I really think it would be adorable. But I don't know. I've made a lot of socks in my time, but always with nylon. I've never tried one without. So if anybody has a suggestion or said, like, you know, don't do it, please let me know. Otherwise, I might do it. Just because that's what she really wants. And this is the first pair of socks I've ever knit for her. I've never knit socks for my kids before because their feet are always growing. But Evelyn, she's 14 now, and her feet haven't grown for about a year and a half. So I thought, okay, your feet aren't growing anymore, so we're going to give you a pair of socks. So now, of course, my younger one is super jealous because I've never made her socks, but her feet are still growing, and I just don't want to knit her pair of socks. And she's also one of those kids that, like, flings the socks everywhere, and so she'd probably lose one in about 3 days, and then I'd be upset. So no socks for her. And that's it. That's all I'm working on right now. I do have a couple other sweaters kind of in plans. I have just a scrappy pink sweater. I misdyed a whole bunch of pink at work, or I boiled them to death or something. I don't remember what I did. Something bad. And I didn't like them, and I couldn't sell them, so they came home with me. So they're becoming like a camping sweater, but I'm not very far on it, so I won't bother showing. And I'm still working on the Firenze sweater with the green that I showed last week. I haven't got any farther. I never picked it up again, just because I had to cast on a new sweater. And yeah, and when I'm done that sweater, when I'm done my Julissa, I'm going to finish the Firenze, and then I have two, because they're both so close. They just need sleeves, so I can do that. And then I'm going to cast one on for my husband. So I'll show you what I got. This isn't new. I mean, it's fairly new. It's the last yarn purchase I made, but it was a couple months ago, like 5, 6. I don't know. When did Max the Knitter come out with that? He came out with a new sweater. Oh, shoot. Dropped his ball. Just 1 second. Max the Knitter came out with a sweater that has a bunch of, like, I think it's called Hide and Peak. And it's got, like, mountain range kind of diamond shapes all up in the yoke. And I saw it and I was like, that is amazing. I've knit his once in floral. Do not have that sweater anymore, but I knit it and I loved it, and I like his pattern, sorry. And so I saw this one and I'm like, I want it for myself, but I think my husband will look amazing in it. So I bought some yarn for him, and this is all untwisted and I don't know what's going on. Yikes. Let's see if I can fix. Okay. Oh, that was a mess. Okay, so the main color of the sweater is going to be this really beautiful charcoal. So this is actually very, very close to the colors that Max Sincere, he's the designer, and this is very close to his sample sweater. I really liked the color combination. It's very classic. And my husband really liked that. So I thought, you know what, I'm not going to fool around with it. He likes that, so let's just go with it. So the body is in this dark charcoal. This one. Keep dropping all my yarn. That. And then one of the peak colors is this lighter charcoal. It actually shows that there is a little bit of contrast. There's not as much contrast in this one as I was hoping there was going to be, but I was buying them online, and sometimes that's kind of hard to tell. And then this really pretty, like, ochre mustard color in there, and okay, it's like, whoop. And then this kind of like beige. See, look, I dropped it, and then it's like all gross, but anyways, it's fine. Yeah, it's like an oat color, and so that's the other one. So I love it. And this yarn is very squishy. It is Estelle double knit. Like pretty much all the yarn just fell on the floor, but whatever. Okay, so Estelle double knit. This is color number Q65594. That's super informative. It's like an oat color. And it is made with, what is the 50 acrylic, 40 wool, 10 nylon. Yeah, it's very soft. It's really, really nice yarn. I'm very much looking forward to casting this on and knitting with this yarn. That's all over my floor. Okay, so that's it. That's FOs, works in progress, and future knitting. And yeah, so now I'm just going to show you all kind of like last week. I did a mid-knit minute. It's more like mid-knit minutes, like mid-knit half an hour, but that doesn't have quite the same rhyme. So we're just going to stick with mid-knit minute. So yeah, I wanted to show you guys some samples that we had in the shop, because we don't have, our shop isn't open because of the pandemic and everything. We actually closed the shop to public. We will be reopening again when my youngest can get vaccinated. So obviously she's 10, so she's not in that age range yet. So we're still waiting for her to be able to get vaccinated. And then once she is, then I think we would be more comfortable to open up the shop. But until then, so all that to say, the shop isn't open, so nobody ever gets to see our samples, and that makes me sad, so I'm going to show you. So, I showed you guys this one last week, and it wasn't done, but I finished it last week, last podcast. Oops. See, the ends are woven in. They are. I just blocked it, and then I forgot to trim them, so, and my scissors are over there. But, anyways, here's this cowl. Ah, it's so good. I love it so much. come bring it a little closer for you guys. Let's see. So this yarn here is the Rustic Twist that I was telling you guys about last podcast. It's 2 plies of untreated, 2 plies of untreated merino wool and 1 ply of treated superwash merino. So it's got this really gorgeous twist and marled look, almost barber pole look when it's dyed, and it's just stunning. But it look how good the cables, like it just, I think it's because it's not like it's untreated, and so it's a little bit more rustic. It just pops those cables, and that kind of a seed stitch or a moss stitch or whatever it was that she had you do, it just looks so good. So this is obviously a fairly small cowl. It only used 1 skein, not even. Let's see if I can get it on. It was pretty tiny last time, but I've blocked it. Let's see here. See if I can get it on without making a complete fool of myself. It's still quite small, but it's not as small. Let's see. Boop. So yeah, it's not, it's nice size cowl for just tucking under your jacket, and like you can zip it right up to there, and then it would all just like scrunch around your face. Yeah, I really like this. This is a fun pattern to knit. It is called something. Oh my goodness, I looked it up right before the podcast because I'm like, last time I forgot what it was called, and that's super embarrassing. And so I'm gonna look it up, and I did, and then I forgot to write it down, and now I don't remember. So sec. I've got it on my phone. It is the Rocky Cliffs Cowl by Gretha Mersen. So I will put the information down below for you guys. But yeah, it was a really fairly quick knit. It took me forever because I just kept putting it down. And then once it was done, it just sat forever. So finally somebody weaved in the ends for me because I was too lazy and I didn't do it. So they're like, I'm gonna do it. And then then I was supposed to cut the ends off, and I still haven't done that. Sorry, Jen. Thanks for weaving in the ends for me. Holy cow. The laziest person in the world. Not Jen, me. So anyways. And then this was cute. This pot caught my eye in the shop today when I was finding something. I thought, oh my goodness, it's so cute. I had to show it. I don't think it's ever been shown. But look how cute. Oh my goodness. So this is a flax. I think this is like the tiniest size. I can't remember what Tara knit. This might be the 6 to 12 month size. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, probably. But she knits tight, so it might be a little bit smaller than that. But this is our barn board color. And so it's just this really wonderful neutral gray-brown. But look at that little teddy bear's face. Like, can you even? It's so sweet. And I don't remember now. I know you can find patterns. She just kind of winged it. Didn't follow a pattern or anything. And it's just like an embroidery kind of stitched on with some extra yarn. But like, oh my goodness, it is so cute. A little pair of booties with this, or a little bonnet or something like that, would be the sweetest little baby gift. So that's really sweet. So I had to show that because, who doesn't need a quick daily dose of cute? And then the other thing I was going to show are these, because they are new colors in the shop, fairly new colors anyways. What's the right side and what's the wrong side? I can't remember anymore. But this is called Flyaway Twist, not Flyaway, Flyway. Flyaway Twist by Veera Valimaki. This was fun to knit. I really, really liked it. So this color here is called Gateway. So in May we did the Edmonton Fiber Frolic as a virtual event. We've always wanted to do the Edmonton Fiber Frolic in person, but it never worked out. And then of course 2020, we were signed up, we were paid, we were ready to go, and then, everything fell apart, and so we didn't get to go. Which, I mean, nobody went anywhere, so that was fine. But yeah, so then this year in 2021, we participated, but it was a virtual event, so that was fun. it was very different. Like, we'd never done a virtual event before, and so it was a lot of work, a lot of behind the scenes, and things went wrong, but it was a ton of fun, like so fun. And this was a colorway that we created for it, and it's called Gateway because it's Edmonton is known as Gateway to the North, and so that's kind of our interpretation of it. And then this green is Green Gables, which goes really well with this. Anyways, you start at this tip, you knit down, and then you start this brioche, 2-color brioche. So I knew how to do some brioche because I knit this sweater. So this was the next step, was to doing some 2-color brioche, and it was a lot of fun. There are some mistakes, I can see them right now, but you know what, you probably can't, and if you can, just pretend that I didn't make them. And then you pick up, or I don't remember now how I did the edge. I think when you get down to here, you start knitting back and forth in like short rows or something. I don't know. It was a very fun knit though, and it just takes 2 skeins of yarn, and it makes a fairly substantial sized shawl. Yeah, I don't wear cowls or shawls well. I'm just kind of ridiculous when it comes to wearing them, and of course yeah, it doesn't look good, but whatever. That is my problem, not a pattern problem. But yeah, it's a really squishy, and of course, you know, being with the brioche, it's really extra fluffy and squishy. And yeah, so this was 2 skeins of fingering. So if you have any special fingering in your stash, a speckle and a solid that matches it, I really recommend this pattern. Not free, but a lot of fun to knit, and yeah, I recommend it. I think it's a really fun knit. It's very engaging because you're changing what you're doing, and then it's, yeah, like quite big. So it's, you know, sometimes when you knit a 2 skein shawl, it's kind of doesn't fit well or whatever, but I think this one does. But yeah, so that's pretty much it for knitting. Oh no, that's it for knitting, but I got yarn behind me that I wanted to share with you guys, so I'm going to do that real quick, and then we'll get into some cross-stitchy stuff before I have to go, because I don't even know what time it is. Oh, it's almost time to go. I've got a knit night to go to tonight, a virtual one. I still don't have any friends in real life, but, you know, that's okay. It's fine. Anyways, so yarn. About a year ago, we discontinued a whole slew of colors, and one of them was Juice Box. And I don't really know why we did. We just kind of felt like it was kind of tired. It had been in the shop since the beginning of time, and I just was like, you know what, let's get rid of it for a while. So we did, and then the other day I was dyeing yarn, and I just was like, oh, I miss dyeing Juice Box. It wasn't a complicated color. It was an easy one to do, and I just was like, I just felt like it needed to come back. I don't know if other people feel the same way. I feel that way. But our dye technique has changed quite a bit since we started the company, and I know how to do like the dry speckles better now. When I first started, we weren't able to do them. We were able to, but I never got the results that I wanted, just due to like inexperience. And so now that we've been in it for like 5 years, I decided, you know what, I'm going to try it again with a different technique. So this is actually my new interpretation of Juice Box, done with the speckle, like the dry speckle techniques, which is the same technique that we do with Secret Garden and Wild Rose, Gateway, Pesto, all those. Spiced latte. So I really love this. It's got pink, and it's got mauve, and it's got a purple, and it's got this beautiful orange, and it's done on a cream base, so the undyed natural color, and then so that the colors can they can pop. And yeah, so I was just going to show you that. let us know in the comments below if you do want us to see this one come back. Obviously, I've dyed 4 of them, so they will go in the shop at some point. But yeah, if people are really interested in me bringing this one back permanently, please just let us know in the comments. I will show you guys what it works with. There's more things in the shop that works with it, but I didn't either have them dyed or I thought this was enough to share with you guys. But I really like Velvet Plum with it. So that's Velvet Plum. Then of course my favorite is Why Not. So, and it goes really nicely with it. My chair keeps creaking. That's my chair, I swear it is. Okay, so that's Why Not. Which is a beautiful pinky plum. Then we've got Smitten, which I really love, this bright, shocking pink. Smitten really picks up those pink flicks. And then to pick up the orange, I've got some Seashell. So yeah, I really, really love this colorway. So I hope you guys do too, because I think it's going to make a comeback. Whether you want it to or not, I suppose I'll put it in the shop. So yeah, so that's it for yarny stuff, I guess. I just wanted to share those few samples with you guys, and then new color. We've always got new colors under development. I've got a few more ready and waiting kind of thing to, you know, to make its debut. One thing, it is the end of October, so if anybody liked the color of the month for October, it was called Apple Cider. That's going to be gone on Sunday, so if you like that one, get your order in, because that one will not be coming back. Some of the colors of the month will bring back after 6 months. Apple Cider is not one of them. We decided that that one wasn't something that we wanted in our regular lineup, so that one will probably never see the light of day again. So if you love that one, grab it now. And yeah, we're really, really looking forward to you guys seeing the November one. I love the November one. So yeah, it was a happy accident that I thankfully was able to recreate without any issue. So that one's a fun one. Really looking forward to the first for that. And the only other thing is that I forgot to mention last time, but we do have a make-along running. By the time this is uploaded, it's kind of going to be at the very, very tail end. It only goes to the 31st of October. But if you have knit something from our yarn in the month of October, 100 grams or less, or around 100 grams, like if it's 110, it's like still throw it in there. It's basically an under 100, like a one skein wonder kind of idea. But if you did color work, like a color work hat, that will still count. So if you've knit something in that's been cast on in October and is bound off by in October, by all means, go to our Ravelry group and submit it. We're going to be pulling a prize next week for 2 skeins of yarn of your choice, and we've been pulling like pattern prizes for participants throughout the month. So it's been a lot of fun. There's been some really amazing projects finished, and yeah, some of them are just absolutely stunning. Well, all of them are stunning, but yeah, it's like, yeah, it's been a lot of fun to see. A lot of chatter, which is really nice. A lot of people cheering each other on as they're trying to finish up their projects and stuff. So I highly recommend that you join that. And if you can, I mean, like I said, by the time that this gets uploaded, it's probably going to be the very, very, very tail end of the month. But I'm sorry, I forgot. For our next knit along, or not a knit along, we always do it a make along. So like crochet, weaving, anything that involves yarn can be entered. So you know, don't worry, don't think that if it's not a knit thing that you can't join. You definitely can. Yeah, but that's it for knitting. So if that's all you were here for, then thank you for joining me. And if you want to stick around and see what I'm working on cross-stitch wise, then please stick around. I've got a few things to show. Should we start with FOs? I finished something. I'm so excited because last week I was showing you guys I was so close to being done, and now I am, and I love it. Look how awesome. And I ironed it. It needs a better iron because it's still got creases, but I didn't have time to like wet it down and do all that. But you know, this is better than it was last week. It's not all crumpled. So this is a pattern from Emma Congdon, who is Stitchrovia. If you want to find her on Etsy, she is Stitchrovia. But this was from her book, Cross Stitch for the Soul. So this pattern is not available anywhere else except for in that book. But this is for my daughter, the one that's almost 14. It's her favorite quote. If you can't see it, it says, "When it rains, look for rainbows. When it's dark, look for stars." So I don't know, just this particular quote really resonated with her one day, and she loved it. She loved the quote, and then I found this pattern in the book, and so I bought the book just specifically to cross stitch this for her. Yeah, I don't remember what I was going to say. I was going to say something important with like some substance, but you know, I forget now. It was fleeting. It went away. So yeah, that was, oops, that's all crumpled. It falls down. I'm just, let me lay it out here. Okay, so that was that one, and I really, really like that. I want to do one for my younger daughter now, but I just haven't picked a pattern. And I don't really, none of the ones in the book. Let me see if I can find it. Oh yeah, I got some stash at the haul. I forgot I was gonna mention. Where is the book? Where's the book? Right here. This is the book, Cross Stitch for the Soul. And just, I really love so many of these, but none of the rest of them really speak to me. Like they don't feel like they would fit Alora, if that makes any sense. So I'm still on the hunt for a pattern to cross stitch for her. And I did see the other day, which I was very excited about, Emma Congdon had put up in her Instagram feed a sneak peek of, well, it's not even a sneak peek, she didn't show anything, but she had a screenshot of an Amazon pre-order with no picture. It just said Emma Congdon cross stitch. I don't know what it was, I cannot remember the name of it, but it's all like love theme. So I'm really excited to see what she's got up her sleeve, and because I love this book, and she has another one called Cross Stitch for the Earth, which is all very nature inspired, and it's beautiful too. I don't have that one, but yeah, and now she's got one about love and stuff. So I'm really, really interested to see what she's got in there, because I've actually been hunting for a nice pattern to do like a wedding sampler, not a wedding sampler, like a wedding cross stitch or an anniversary cross stitch for Brad and I. I've never done one because I've always found them too, I don't know, they're just not my style really. I just have never found one that really I loved enough that I wanted to do it. So I don't really want like a bride and groom on it, and I don't want old-fashioned flowers. I love like a watercolor something, or something in vibrant tones. And so Emma Congdon, obviously saying to my sister today, I'm like, if anybody is going to create one that I'm going to absolutely fall in love with, it's going to be her, because I just adore her style. So really looking forward to seeing what's in that book. Yeah, and then what I've been working on, I should have put this out. One day, I swear, I will figure out how to podcast. I've only been doing it for 3 years. And okay, so I started a new one, because you know, you finish one, you start one. And so I'm working on this, and it's so cute. I don't know, can you guys see the little clouds? So it's a kite and a sun right now, and then there's little clouds. Oh, is it blowing out? I can't tell. But there's some clouds here, and some clouds here, and then there'll be clouds down this side, and I'll show you what the pattern will end up looking like. I don't have a good picture of the pattern because it's from this book, but this is what it'll look like. You see there's a little bear right there. Oh my goodness, and he's holding on to this balloon. Oh my goodness, I'm going the wrong direction. He's holding on to the kite, and then its kite tail is right here, and a couple little birds down here. Oh my goodness. I have loved this pattern for so long. I bought this book at Michael's probably 18 or 19 years ago, and I've stitched two patterns out of it, and this one, this little bear, I've loved him since like day one. But it always the pattern calls for a blue, like something blue to stitch it on. And I never had any like blue Aida or blue cross stitch stuff. And I didn't know where to buy it because being fairly new to cross stitch at the time, I didn't know anything about anything besides like Aida. And then my sister taught me about linen, but I didn't know where to find blue linen. But now it's like, I don't know if it was always there and I just didn't know, but now it's like hand dyed is a big thing. And so this is like a hand dyed blue, modeled kind of, it is a 32 count Joblin in the colorway Bluebell. And I got it on 123stitch.com, which is a US company, but they offer really good rates. $4.99 to Canada, no matter like what size of order. So you can't beat that. And even with the exchange, this was like half the price of what, or like, yeah, I saved quite a bit of money by going through them. It's like, I really like to support Canadian local, but yeah, sometimes when it's especially, and I don't think that Stitch Essential had this, and I had bought some other things too that Stitch Essential didn't have. Otherwise, I would have just stayed within Canada, but some things you can't get, so you have to order somewhere else. So anyways, that's that one. So the book that I'm stitching from is this one, Bears and Blossoms. It's by Leisure Arts. And none of the patterns actually have names, so I can't even tell you what the name of that little one is. They just has the stitch requirements, like the fabric, or the Aida and the DMCs and stuff like that. So unfortunately, I don't have a name for it, but it's in this magazine. And like I said, I got it like 18, 19 years ago. And the only reason I know that is because I did cross stitches out of it for my nephew and niece. So I will show you those because I got them today. So this is the first one that I did way back. Oh my goodness, look how cute. This was, so when my nephew was born, this is the stitch that I made for my sister. And it hung in his nursery for a really long time. And I think it actually was kind of up in their house, like up near his room or in his room or in the hallway near his room or something like that for quite a long time. And now he's 17, so it doesn't hang there. It goes in the office. So it's on a piece of sticky board, which is kind of becoming unstuck. But it's on probably a 32 count linen because that's what I used to stitch on the most. And yeah, so you can see the discoloring where, you know, way back I used masking tape edges, so now it's discolored. Whoops. But yeah, anyways, I really, really love this. So it's not in a frame right now because Tara's actually going to reframe it, but this is it. Here, I'll come a little closer because it's so cute. Oh my goodness, I could not resist. I think there's a little frog in the water somewhere. Oh yeah, there's the frog right there. So adorable. All right, so there's that one. And then the next one has a bit of a story, and I was supposed to cover up the name on here. I wonder if I've got like a post-it note or something. 1 second, I'll be right back. Okay, so back again. Okay, so this cross stitch, I hope that the glare isn't bad on it. But this is the one that I did for my niece. So I did the little bear walking in the woods for my nephew, and then a couple years later along came my niece, so I did this one, which is so cute. I love this like chubby little bear in his little jacket that's too small for him. Comes closer. Boop. Okay, here we go. All right, so I covered up her name, but the date I didn't because I have a story. Because who doesn't like a good old cross-stitch story, right? Okay, so my last cross-stitch story last week was how my husband has hacked his corners of his cross-stitch around. This is also a husband cross-stitch story. I don't know if you can tell in here, it's discolored. Okay, here, up in the name, and here. Can you see? Oh, maybe you can't. Maybe you can. I can't tell. Okay. It is orange, light orange. So when my niece was born, we were going out to visit. And so I was stitching like mad on this cross stitch. And 2 nights before we left to go to BC to visit my sister and meet the baby, I finished. I put the last stitches in. I hurried my butt up and I got, I got it washed and I laid it out on a towel on my table. And then I went to bed. And all was right in my world. I finished this cross stitch. It was so cute. It was drying. We weren't going for I had 1 day before we had to go. And I got up in the morning to check on it, and it was covered in rust. There were rust marks all around the stitching, all in the white. Because after I'd gone to bed, my husband saw it. And he was like, oh, well, it shouldn't be sitting on a towel because then the air can't flow underneath it. So I am going to be helpful and I'm going to put it on a window screen. So he took a window screen that was sitting downstairs in our basement and he put it on the table and he laid the cross stitch right on top of it. Well, the window screen was metal. And so you can imagine what wet cloth did. And by morning, there was rust all around it. And I got up and I was like, what has happened? And he's like, oh, I put it on a screen to help you because, being so helpful. And that was lovely. But I was so upset. I can't even tell you how upset I was. Hours and hours and hours and months of work. Because I work full-time, I worked at that time full-time, so I only got to do this a little bit in the evenings, and so it had taken me the full 9 months if my sister was pregnant to cross-stitch this thing, even though it's not that big, but, time is precious. I didn't have a lot of it. I don't think I cried, but I remember being really quiet, and I think sometimes that's worse. So he knew immediately when he saw it that he'd screwed up. And I took the cross stitch and I looked up right away online how to get rid of rust, and I think it was something like baking soda and lemon juice or something, and it took it out because the stuff was still damp. It did take it out. I thought I could still see a hint of the color, but it looked like it was mostly gone, and Tara never said anything, and she said she didn't, because I told her and she's like, I don't see anything, so I'm like, okay, good. But I mean, my niece she's just turned 15. So 15 years in a frame has caused this to come back out again. So I'm going to pop it out of this frame, and it's on a piece of sticky board. And I'm going to pop it off of there, and I'm going to try to wash it again and see if I can get the rust out. If anybody out there has any suggestions on how to get a rust stain out of fabric, please let me know. So I would love to know. And yeah. And if not, I'm going to over dye it with some coffee and tea dyeing. Normally I'm not a big fan of I really like my cross stitches on white, but I mean, this isn't white anymore and it's blotchy, so it's gonna have to get safe. So if I could do Priscilla and Chelsea of the Real Stitchers Housewives of Cross Stitch, they have a tutorial on how to do a coffee and tea dye where they put lots of tea bags in the water and then they have submerged but they always do it pre-stitching. But I mean, if it looks a little antique-y on the bear and stuff like that, I think I'd be okay with that too, because I mean, what else are you gonna do? And then the other little thing that I thought was hilarious that I forgot all about until I was looking at it is down here at the bottom. There's this cute little flower right there beside the date, and that's not part of the pattern. I popped that in because I failed to center the date properly. So yes, so if you took that away, you will see that that is not centered. So we put a little flower detail in there. So yeah, always learning. So anyways, my poor husband, I swear, well, I don't know. Are all my bad stories going to involve my husband and my cross stitch? I don't know. Hopefully they stop now. But that's 2 for 2. So he's in trouble. I think he probably forgets all about that. Actually, he won't forget. As soon as I remind him, he'll remember because he was so horrified. I do feel bad. Like, I don't feel bad. He felt bad. I felt bad too, but not on his behalf. I was mad at him. But he felt terrible because he was just trying to be helpful. But I'm like, in the future, to be helpful, leave it alone! Just don't touch it! It's good. I had it handled. So anyways, he has never touched my cross stitch since. So, poor man. I do love him very much. We've been married for 17 years, so, you know. He's stuck with me. I've stuck with him. We're good. Yeah, I was going to show you too. He's cast on something. So with that same blue fabric, I had it in my cart, and he's like, oh, is that for me? I'm like, no, it's for me, but I guess you can have some. So he's he started a new stitch too, because he's working on that really huge one that I showed you last time, and it's kind of like killing his mojo there, because it's just a lot of the same. So he wanted something that could get some instant gratification. So he bought a cross stitch that's actually hot air balloons. So he really liked it on this blue. When he saw that blue, he thought it looked like sky, which is obviously why I was buying it. So he had these hot air balloon stitches. He's going to have 3 of them. They came as individual balloons, and he's just going to put them on one piece. Like, one is going to be down here, and one is going to be over here. Here, let's see if I can pop it out of the frame. He likes to stitch with a hoop. It's just easier for him. I prefer to stitch in hand. Not that that matters. I don't know why I'm bothering to tell you, but just, you know, because that was pretty obvious. But yeah, so he's almost done this one, and then he's got a burgundy one and a orange one. So I'm not sure exactly where he's going to put them. This one was supposed to be right in the center. I'm obviously mismeasured. Again, you'd almost think that by, you know, now I would know how to measure properly. This is why my quilts and stuff never turn out either. So measure once, cut it wrong. Every time. So, anyways, okay. Well, I'll let him figure that out. He can redo that. You know, he's wrecked 2 of mine. He's wrecked a cross stitch of mine. He can put back in his hoop. Okay. I think that's it. No, that's not it. I mean, that's it for stitching. But I wanted to share with you my goodies that I got, because I never have stitchy haul, because it's been a long, long time since I cross stitched. So this is my first stitchy haul in a very long time. But I bought that blue fabric. Like I said, I did some org shopping on 123stitch.com. I didn't buy very much because I don't want to get into that thing where I have too much and then I feel like it's overwhelming. So I'm just trying to buy what catches my eye and that I really, really like. So I found this. I'm not really big into samplers, but I thought this was so cute, and I want to have it on hand for like a baby stitch sometime. Like if a friend has a baby or something like that, then I think it would be really cute. Oh, you cannot see it at all. This is a Lizzie Kate pattern called Summer Alphabet. And it is so cute. So the only change that I would ever make in this pattern, I'll probably keep the colors the same, because they're quite vibrant in real life. But okay, right here, right in there by the F. Nope, right here. There's a little flag with those houses, a little American flag. Well, I'm not American, so I don't need to have the American flag. So I'm just going to, I don't know what I'm going to do with it yet. I'll probably just take the flag out and not even bother putting anything in there. But yeah, so that's the only change that I'd make to that pattern. I'm going to keep the fabric the same. I'd probably do it on a white instead of like whatever the dark color is that they called for. And then the other thing I got, I saw this. Now, I don't remember if I saw it on a podcast. Like, I don't remember if I saw somebody had stitched it. I don't think so. I think I was watching a Flosstube, and somebody was showing some things by Hands-On Design, and I was like, you know what, I really like that. It's super cute. So then I went and found that Hands-On Design has a Flosstube, and she was showing this, which is a brand new pattern release that they just had. and I thought it was so cute because it looks like it's on chalkboard, and it's all these sweet little like sayings and flossy related things, and I just thought that's really, really cute. So I got that, and yeah, it says like whip and sow, so like stitch along, hoop, cross stitch, UFO, so a lot of words that like knitters we understand too. And then it comes with like a bonus chart for like a little pin cushion, which is what this circle one is, and then like a smaller chart, so like if you want to make a like a project bag or something. So that was super cute. I couldn't resist. I thought it was really adorable and I wanted it, so I grabbed that. And then I also bought some black fabric for stitching that. But the problem is okay, this is 36 count, country slate, Edinburgh linen. And I don't know why I bought 36 count. I normally stitch on a 32, and I have okay eyes. Like, I don't have trouble with my eyes. I mean, I've got glasses, but I don't have a problem with like seeing, like, you know, needing bifocals or anything yet, or seeing distances. I cannot see the holes in this. I can't tell what's holes and what is like the shine from the fabric, like the weft. I can't tell. So I don't think I'm going to be able to stitch on this particular piece of cloth. So, I mean, I'll try, but it might be more frustrating than anything. So what I might do is I might just put this away and destash it at some point, and then buy something else. Like maybe a 28 count, so that when it's more like a 14 count because I always do over 2. So I don't know. But so I'm not unhappy with the color and everything. I really like it. It's just that I made a mistake when I purchased it. I don't know why I thought 36 was what I would want to stitch on, because yeah, like this, oh, what did I say, 32 count on the Joblin? It's not. It's 28 count Joblin, the blue. And so it makes a 14 count when it's done over 2, and I really, really like it. Last time I was on the podcast, I was talking about the bird cross stitch that I really liked, or that I was working on, and that I really, really, really loved the fabric. It's 100% cotton, but it doesn't say in the land art. It just says 100% cotton fabric. So I don't know what it is, but the Joblin feels a lot like it. I love it. Really, really like stitching on it. It isn't the same because I know Joblin has, I think, rayon in it, and it's not 100% cotton, but it feels really, really nice. It's really drapey. It stitches like a dream. Like, I think that's kind of my new favorite. I've only really ever stitched on linen and Aida. Don't like Aida. It's not that I don't like the look of it or anything. Like, I don't want anybody watching this to think I'm being like snobbish. I don't, it hurts my hands to hold onto it because it's so stiff, and I just don't enjoy it as much as something that's more drapey. So yeah, but this Joblin is really nice. I'm definitely going to be ordering more in different colors, some cream and some white and something else. I don't know what. I'm gonna go looking. But yeah, so I think that's everything. Lots of stitching, lots of knitting, some dream knitting, some dream stitching. So I think I'm good. So thank you guys for watching. I'm really glad I was able to get back here so soon. You know, once a month is about max, I think. I don't think I would have enough to share with you otherwise, just because I don't do a lot of stitching. I do some stitching and some knitting every evening, but it still takes me a long time to get anything really accomplished. So any more than this, I think you guys would just be like, you know, so bored. So I won't probably do it more often, but I'm shooting for the last Friday of every month. So we'll see how long that lasts. I said that before, and then I was gone for a really long time. But oh well. Okay, so I've got a knit night to get ready for, and some coffee to drink, and some supper to have, and everything, so I guess this is it. So we will see you guys next time. Bye.